Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
The roadcast. There we go. There we go. All right. I guess. Whew, Lord.
There we go. Yeah.
This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad. This is the day. You know, sometimes I clap off beat.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Maybe because I have some blankety blank and blankety blank in my blankety blank. Lord have mercy. This is the day that the Lord has made. And I am so happy, y'all. I am so happy. I guess we're going to try this Wirecast thing out again, y'all, this year and see what it do, make it do what it do.
What did we have last year?
We had Wirecast.
Wait, you told me that you went to someone else.
I did, but since I found out what the issue was, I went back to Wirecast, so this is another major test now. But we're gonna roll. It looks like it's working. We had a few hiccups along the way. What?
Nothing.
So, how are you doing, young lady over there?
I am well. I'm well.
You are well.
I am glad to be here.
You good looking too in that
Thank you.
black.
Thank you. You know, just
Yes.
trying.
Yes. So today marks something major happened today.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King's son, his
Dexter.
eldest son, Dexter, passed today. So
62 years old, prostate cancer.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. I didn't know prostate cancer.
Prostate
Wow.
cancer. Mhm.
Yes. So, hey, you all, I want you all to go out to Apple, the Apple TV. I believe it's on Roku and some other. I'm not sure if it's streaming on Amazon, but I know Apple. What's the other streaming platform? Apple, Roku,
Fire Stick.
Hulu. I think we're on Hulu. No, we're not on. We may be on Peacock. But anyway, I know we're on Apple TV. So if you all have Apple product, you can go out to Apple TV, and myself along with a
Disconnected. What is that?
no, just figure that.
Okay.
Don't make me nervous now.
Okay.
Make sure you all go out to Apple TV and look for the Silent Killer documentary. Prostate cancer in the African American community. That is one that yours truly has produced and edited and co-directed, if you want to say. But a friend of mine, Landy Maduro, out in California, was the director of the awesome documentary, and we finished it in 2017. And this is a documentary about men that we followed throughout their course of their prostate cancer. And it seems like as you watch this documentary doesn't have an end life because of all the information that we give in this documentary. And it kind of dispels the myths of, what black men or what black families kind of are scared of, and especially the DRE and all this kind of other stuff that I'm not going to get into because we have a special guest that is waiting patiently for us. But I just wanted to put that plug in. Make sure you go out and watch the Silent Killer documentary, prostate cancer in the African American community. Also, we have a book for sale. You can catch it on Amazon, His Beauty, Her Battle. It's about my wife when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, how I had to manage through that part of my life. And then we have some other books in the works, so be looking out for that. I am glad that you all streaming with us. Can you monitor the social comments as well, please?
There.
Thank you. You're so awesome. How many people are streaming on Facebook? Don't worry about it. Okay. What about YouTube? You got YouTube up?
I don't have YouTube.
You don't have YouTube. Okay. So make sure you put in the comment line, we love Chris and Carlette or something. Just say shout out to where you're following from and go from there. But we wanted to start this year off right. As far as building wealth, we want to build wealth. And Carlette and I had to really ponder, how do you build wealth? Well, you build wealth by having multiple streams of income. And with the multiple streams of income, you have to sometimes start your own business. And we have this young lady on. She's going to give you all her. Oh, did you have something to say about?
You know what? I was about to say this is the Chris show, and I'm gonna let you roll with it. So we're gonna. I'm just here. Okay. So go right ahead. You had a flow. Because I did want to make a comment about your documentary.
Go ahead. No, we're going to go back. Guess, is it okay by the nod of your head if we could go back just a little bit? She said okay, so go back.
So the thing I was going to say, even though technologies change over the year, medical advancements, which is what we need, this documentary is foundational, meaning some things just won't change. Some things you still need to go. The importance of preventative medicine, getting checked out on a regular basis, not moving in fear, moving, when there's knowledge, there's strength, it empowers you. And so this documentary does that. I would welcome ministries to contact him to have this played at your church. And we've had it where, they have had it where they'll play the documentary, partner with a local medical office that I have like a mobile prostate exam bus or exam room, and they have helped some men who caught it early when they attended this event. So business owners, churches, men's ministry, men's book club, barber shops, listen, where they congregate, you need to say, hey, while you're here, you can have the documentary, however you want to do it, talk to him. They can give you some ideas, but let's get to our subject. It is right now 9:12. We need to get to
9:12. And so we're going to bring on our guest. Her name is none other than the Pamela Bass out of Huntsville, Alabama. Unfortunately, we did visit Alabama a couple weeks ago with my son, and it was okay. He was throwing up the G for Georgia. So just make sure that, we just pay homage to Alabama. And, there's the actual picture of Evan at the University of Georgia. So just wanted to set the record straight that we are Georgia fans, not Alabama. So, but we're going to bring her on. And then here's her card. Her name is Pamela Bass. In case you all want to get her information later, I'll put this back up.
Screenshot that.
So, yes, we're going to bring her bring her on. And there she is. Let me make sure that all my audio is together. All right. Let's see. Hello, Pam. Can you hear us?
Hello, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Yes.
Very good.
Awesome.
Yes. Mrs. Pamela Bass.
I would like to say that I met her by way of the church fellowship that we are a part of, Legacy District Beacon Hill Worship Center, Church of God in Christ in Huntsville and Madison, and Hartsville, Alabama. And I was told by our superintendent, he said, our pastor, he said, when I told him I was in real estate in Georgia, he was like, you need to get with Pamela Bass. She's the usher, but she is a broker. Didn't do it quickly. I didn't. But I sent a message to her, something. She crossed my mind, said, we need to talk. But it took me to be sitting in church. And not only I was moved, I felt by the Spirit of God to contact her and say, hey, I think I need to join forces with you. And once we start, it was quick. It was a matter, I think, a week. And so been with her, been with Virtuous Realty Group, part of the Georgia branch, and I'm excited for the change. So welcome, Pam.
Well, can I speak freely?
Please.
Yes, please do.
Roll Tide.
Those
I just need
Alabama.
to put that out there real quick before we get started. Roll Tide.
That was a beautiful campus. That campus
it was beautiful.
Beautiful. I was impressed. That was the first time I saw the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated. They had their own house on the row in the campus, not off campus. It was beautiful. I took a picture. Just saying.
Yes. I really, truly hate that we've lost Nick Saban, but Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah. And Pastor Diggs on here, Deborah Walker's on. He said Roll Tide, too.
Oh, Lord.
With the, like he's hollering the emoji.
What did I get started?
That's all right. That's all right.
So, Miss Pam, you give us a quick bio. You are married to none other than Mr. Bass, and you have, 2-3 lovely children? I forgot.
I have three.
I
have three.
Yes, and they all look like you.
That's what everybody says, but I think our baby boy really resembles, I'll give him a little credit, my husband.
Wow. So give us a little breakdown of your bio.
You've done well. And sometimes I'm glad you guys said Pastor Diggs was on, like the mentor of mentors, right?
Listen.
And he's always said, don't shrink. And so mother, wife, CEO of multiple businesses. I actually am the CFO of my husband's business, 40 Communications. So just moving about, but ultimately my passion is just making sure that people are doing what they need to do or truly fulfilling their purpose that they've been called to do, whether it's in business, in marriage, So, but yeah, mother, CEO, you covered it. You did well.
Wow.
Financial coach. Yeah.
Good. And if you all need any IT services, make sure you reach out to the Mr. Bass. Marquis Bass. Yes. I always put a plug in for the husband.
That's right. So our topic today is business credit. And so we know this is very important. We have on this show, we have tackled budgeting with children. We have tackled businesses to create during the pandemic. The guest we had on that, he gave us a top 10 businesses that you could create and be very wealthy during the pandemic and coming out of it. We've talked about personal credit. We had someone on why can I get approved for this house, which dealt with personal, but now we're switching to business. During the pandemic, a lot of entrepreneurs were created, developed, or what was a hobby became forefront because the pandemic did a lot of changing for people. And so let's get to the bottom of it. And I know you want to share your personal story, so we're going to flow with you, but about how to help the people starting off in business, in it already, and they still don't have business credit. So let's talk about it.
That's good. Okay. So let's dive deep.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like oftentimes when we start businesses, let's say me, right? I started about 5 years ago with the real estate company. I have a financial business, but let's just talk about my real estate company. started 5 years ago. And a lot of us, what we don't do is we do not share the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. And so, and you know, I'm glad you said that, Carlette, that, you know, I want to use my personal story. So that's the only way I can get out to let people know that I'm not slinging mud that I have not been through. I've been in the mud, so I can share what it's like and what the ups were down, what the ups were and what the downs were. So, and I always have my notes so that I don't forget what God downloaded for me to share. So, and again, thank you guys before I dive deeper for just sharing your platform with me.
Oh, no problem.
But getting business credit was actually of the present for me, because in my head, I was like, I'm going to self-fund this business. God gave me the vision and he's going to see it through. Listen to me. No, he gave us wisdom. He gave us common sense, and there are resources out there. So yeah, I started it with my own bank account. Well, Mr. Bass, somewhere around here. I started with our bank account.
Right.
I started my business and he believed in the vision though, right? So I started my business with our bank account. And in my head, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing with what I have in my hand. But in addition to that, with his help, meaning God, but I couldn't scale. God gave me a vision for one company and multiple locations. I can't scale based off of my bank account. I can pray, I can do all the things. And I hope you guys are listening.
I'm listening.
God can give you that vision and you can have $300 or $20,000 in your bank account. It's still important to either have an investor in place or put business credit in place. And I'll tell you why. It's because if your vision is bigger than what you can see, you're going to have to figure out how to scale. I can't go to Georgia and I can't go to Tennessee and I can't go to Florida off of my bank account. And I say that, well, maybe you can, but listen to me clearly. You have to have a healthy, income-driven company. Well, at least that's what I want. I don't want a company where I'm utilizing the monies that I need for cheer and basketball and all those things when I can go to the SBA and they can offer me business credit, or I can go to my banker and they can offer me a line of credit to maximize on payroll. If you have a company where you are hiring other people, you're providing opportunities for other people. And so I hope that kind of makes sense with us getting started.
That makes a
you
lot
gotta
of sense.
figure out what the long game is. Go ahead, Carlette.
No, I'm going. Yes, please go. Keep going. This is good.
Okay. You got to figure out what the long game is. Is your dream just to, hey, let me do, and nothing against anybody, because I have a friend that does candles and she does a phenomenal job. But if she's doing those candles in her house and don't have plans to scale, then that's okay. She's just watching her bank account climb. But if you are trying to create opportunities for people, and that's what I'm trying to create, opportunities. Me and my husband, I'm sorry. I'm saying Bass as if it's just the church, but but we are trying to scale and create opportunities for young women, young men, and it doesn't even have to be the younger, but we're thinking about the next generation and them watching us and figuring out how can we do this thing so that when they get ready to do it, we can just pass along the information. We've been through the mud. It's been slung on us. And so now we're climbing out, and now we know that we can say, hey, year one, I self-funded. Year two, woo, I struggled. Year three, God was still in that thing. Year four, woo, still climbing and still struggling. But year five, we're gonna flourish. And you know how? We're gonna partner with investors, and we're gonna get business credit. We wanted to self-fund, but we can't scale. You can't scale like that. You can't scale like that.
Please define scale.
Okay, scale, meaning if you want to have multiple locations, or if you plan to do bigger than what you see. And when I say bigger than what you see, for example, my husband has a technology company. I'm gonna have to use his as an example here. And he started out just him, right? No employees, didn't have to pay payroll. Scaling, elevating your business, going higher, we started out just in the Madison area with 40 communications. Well, now we're in the contracting world. So we're in Florida, we're in Mississippi, we're in different states and cities, and plan to go to different countries, Morocco and different things like that. Well, we can't scale to those other cities and countries based off of the bank account that we have. You can pray and you can have, again, $100,000 in your account, but is your company going to be income driven?
Mhm.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well-
basically,
Going back,
meeting your bottom line and making
meeting
a-
your bottom line,
Yeah.
exceeding.
Yeah.
We're not meeting anything in 2024. We're exceeding the bottom line. And Carlette, I'm so glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you said meeting your bottom line. One thing that's in my notes is, if you don't have a budget in place, you can start that business all day long. But if you don't have a budget in place to tell your money where to go, then you might as well watch that thing out. Because you're going to buy supplies that was not budgeted. You're going to pay a utility bill, and your utility bill in 2023 may have been $200, but hey, this year it's going to be $500. Put a budget in place, get you an investor or a business, get you some business credit and scale your business. But going back to what Carlette said, she said meeting budgets. You should not be trying to meet your budget. You should be trying to exceed your budget. If Virtuous Realty Group made $500,000 in revenue last year, we should try to beat that number the following year. So let me give you some examples of budget. We made $500,000 in 2023, but you have expenses. Payroll was $100,000. Utilities was this amount.
Please know she's not giving real numbers, people. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I am not giving you guys real
not
numbers.
They were more than that.
Right. Right. Good examples, concrete. You know, it's easy to divide up 5s and 10s and, come on. Yes.
But that's the example. Put a budget in place based off of your 2023 numbers. When you start your business, you can't put a budget. You can put a budget in place, but you don't have actuals. So what's your estimated numbers for that year so that you can get to the following year?
Okay. So, hypothetical business. I'm going to make crochet hats. Okay. Gonna make crochet hats. I have $500 in my savings account to start my business. I think you started off with the bigger. Let's start small and then go back to big. So I'm going to make caps for kids and fuzzy hats with the big balls on it that people love. And eventually it's going to lead to, these people, I'm going to have hats for the skiers, and then I'm going to have the hats for newborn babies, and I'm going to expand like that. But I'm starting off with a dream and a love, because I'm good at knitting and crocheting hats. And this is hypothetical, people. And so what do you say to the person who's about to have this hat business? And I'm not talking church hats. I'm talking Scullies and baseball caps. But, and I have $500 in a dream. How do I scale that?
I love it. First of all, I love that you are starting your hat business. Kudos to you. Mm-hmm. If I was coaching you, I would say, I am so proud of you. I would first find out what's your why, but we're not here to talk about your why, because we're always going to start with why too, people. But you have a gift, okay? And we're going to put that gift and that dream and that vision into action. So what we're going to do is figure out what your costs are, because we know that your time is just your time, right? Mm-hmm. But we got to figure out what your material costs are going to be, what we're going to sell those items for. So we got to put our budget in place. What are our expenses? How much are your needles? To listen, I don't sew now, so y'all bear with me.
Crochet needles,
You probably got to go to Joann's or a craft store to get all your things. So you got to figure out what those numbers are going to be, so that you do not exceed that $500 budget. And hey, I'm going to say something crazy right now. You can max that 500 out. If you know that, hey, I know that this is the 500 that I have to spend to start my business, use that 500. But what I need you to know is have your community already in place.
Yes.
Have you some pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
Get some pre-orders in place. Somebody that says, hey, girl, I really would like to order 10 of those for Christmas or whatever the case may be. But your community better already be in place to flip that $500 to $5,000.
Right.
Okay.
So,
and then from there.
So with my $500, okay, I'm about to grow now. I made 100 hats with my $500. Okay. And that include paying myself. Okay.
Look at there. You already paying yourself. That's important.
I made I made 100 hats. I had my pre-orders. 75 of the hats was pre-ordered. I had 25 extra. So I started calling people. I sold my hats at
It don't even matter the amount.
$10
Just go
a
ahead.
piece. $10 a piece. So okay, now I'm at $5,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Minus my expenses, because I need to make 200 hats. You see what I'm saying? So I'm at the point now. When do I need business credit?
You don't need business credit right now because you said 200 hats.
Now I need to make 200 hats.
No, and that's the problem too. Mm-hmm. We prematurely leap, getting ourselves in debt. So there's two things that I'm going to say here. You heard my story. I started my business, self-funded it, and wanted to go on self-funding. But at some point, I knew that, okay, Pam, you're going to have to either get a line of credit, get somebody to buy into the vision and help you scale. You're going to have to do something. But sometimes some of us will have a vision, we'll get it started, we'll see that, hey, this thing is taking off and it's doing well, so let me go get a storefront where you're already in debt.
That's it, right there.
You're in debt already. Mm-hmm. Stay at home, knit in your house until it's time for you to scale, until your orders are so big that you cannot do it alone. Stop going to get storefronts and you can even, what am I trying to say? You can even send your packages yourself. People are ready to get executive assistants and all these things before it's time. Stop moving prematurely. It is not time for him to get that business credit with 200 orders. I'm sorry. We're on short tank right now.
So does business credit is there to pay yourself? Because eventually, as it grows, you're going to have to leave your 9 to 5. You can't burn both ends of the candle and expect to keep going. So again, maybe I picked the wrong business. I don't know. But
no, I can give you a good example.
Okay.
Of what you just said. You said at some point you're going to have to leave your 9 to 5. I was a property manager.
You're going to go from knitting hats to knitting blankets.
That's it. Something. You got to add something to that. T-shirts. You're going to have to add something to that before you scale. But I was in property management before I leaped and started my company. And I did part-time real estate and full-time property management. At some point, I had to figure out something has to go. Either you're going to scale in your business or you're going to stay here being a property manager over 200 units. So I had to leave and focus on the vision that God had given me. I did go get a storefront because I knew it was going to be bigger than what I could see. But with those hats and things like that, no, continue to do that in your house until you know that you're getting too many orders. Now, if you're getting like 1,000 orders or 2,000 orders, then go ahead and leap. But no.
If you all are finding this valuable information valuable, make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube page. If you go out to YouTube, go look for Chris and Carlette Live and subscribe to us on Facebook. I want to ask the question of a lot of people, when you talk about business credit, you know, the first thing that pops in someone's mind is I need a Dun and Brad number or whatever they call it.
The process.
Yeah. So is that a valuable now? Because I heard now they're not just solely using that number, but they're using your personal credit as well. What do you, what do you recommend? Or not recommend, but what do you think?
No, as soon as you are legal, and I wanted to talk about that too, because sometimes when we start businesses, we're not all the way official. We get an EIN and we go running.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than that. You still have to go through the state, no matter where you are, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and get your Secretary of State information in the system. But anyway, your Bradson Dunn number is very important. Do that in the beginning. Get all of your stuff in order. Make sure you have your EIN and it's filed with the IRS. Then you make sure you go ahead and file with your state, your business name. We'll talk about trademarking hopefully on another session. We can't go that far, but make sure that you're not starting a business and then you get a cease and desist letter because you use somebody else's name. But have all that stuff in place, but you're gonna need that number in order to, so that companies will know that, oh, this is a legal and official business. They can actually pull your company name from that site. They're still going to use your personal credit until you've scaled big enough, and they can, and it shows that, hey, Virtuous Holdings Group is my legal name, but Virtuous Holdings Group is a real company. And they have credit. They have credit with, XYZ. It may show up the SBA or whatever it is, but you're going to need that number to get your business credit. Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's somebody just walked in the studio and just wants some attention. Yes, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Just go to our room. Just go to our room.
How about she can't sleep?
So, okay. So in order for me to go and obtain credit from a bank, financier, whatever, credit union, I got my dream. I have my EIN. I'm registered with the state. I have whatever license I need. I have my why I need this money, because they're going to ask me. Yes. And so I need this money because now I have my hobby is now my full-time job, and I need credit so that I can rent out. I need to get more machines. I need to get more materials, and I need to hire people. Are these good reasons for business credit?
Absolutely. You have your financial plan in place, and please
pay somebody.
Do not go to no. That too, though. That's good. That's good. That is good. But no, that's not where I was going. Have a financial plan, budget in place, because they're going to ask for it every time. If they say that you just mentioned all these things, and you go and you sit in front of a banker or an investor and you say, hey, I need $500,000. They're going to want to know the purpose. Well, payroll, office space, office supplies, all these things. They're going to want to know that thing. So go ahead and have it written out and built out. Like the Bible says, make the vision, write the vision to make it plain. Write that stuff out. Going back to my example earlier, if my company made $500,000, but I need $1 million, I'm going to have to show them on paper. Or let's go back to your knitting person. They started out and they sold, I think you said 100 hats. Well, now they're needing the funding to make 1,000 hats. Well, the bank is going to want to know how much did you sell those hats for? What was your revenue? And all those things, because they got to know that you're not a risky person. They got to know that you're able to pay them back.
Yeah.
So have your financial plan in place.
And it can't be in your head, people.
Yes.
You have to write this stuff down. You don't know how many entrepreneurs I have met that do not like to write stuff down. It's all right here. And they proud of that.
Yes. You know what's another bad one? Is that we start, and I hope Pastor Diggs is still on here, because he's mentioned this before in one of his either one of his sermons or on something I heard, but we will start our businesses and we will cash app our payroll. We will Venmo our payroll.
Oh, wow.
We will, what's the other? Zelle our
Zelle,
payroll.
yeah.
No, and no. Open up a business account and you're going to need that same information. You're going to have your EIN and you're going to have to show that you're registered with the state.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot start an account. Well, let's not even say that. Just stop paying people via Cash App, business people.
Right.
Right.
I think
there was a question
Okay.
by Tanya Stewart. She said, what is that number again other than the EIN number? So that was the Dun and Brad number, right?
That's the Dun and Brad.
Okay.
Tell her to go ahead and get her Dun and Brad number if she does not have it. It takes a while to get it back, but if she goes ahead and apply, she should get it back and she should be good.
Is it Dun and Brad or Dun and Brad Street?
It's Dun and Brad Street.
Okay.
Dun and Brad.
You know, people, we shorten everything.
Y'all talking about me? No, just playing.
So I put that in. Okay. I want to get back to the lack of writing stuff down. You can forget. And we have this technology. These smartphones are so smart. You can voice record temporarily and go back and type this stuff up. I don't care if you pay your teenager to do it, but get it done. You have to write. You cannot keep it in your brain. Ideas is going to be just flowing to you.
Yes.
You know, if you have the iPhone, you know, that the voice memo, I have so much in here. And then I convert it over. It's so smart now. It'll almost do it for you. It will,
Absolutely.
What is that called? Where you can go and you can look at it and it's already like typed up. I mean, if they can do it with voicemail, surely they can do it, you know.
So let me ask you this. When it comes to piggybacking off of what Carlette said, when you write it down, where do you, and this may be off your notes, but where do vision boards come into play with this?
You start there first. Mm-hmm. You start there first. And mine was an actual vision board. Mm-hmm. I actually just wrote it down. I wish I could show you my little notes right here to the right, but I literally in 20,000, Lord, it's getting late, y'all. 2013. I wrote down my vision, but I had no idea that it would be like it is today. I wrote it down in 2013, the name of my company. Actually, we wrote down the name of my husband's company as well. But guys, we wrote down 3D Communications. The name ended up being 4D Communications.
Okay.
So we wrote that stuff down back in 2013, not knowing that it would come to pass, 3 years later, 5 years later. And so that was my vision board. Now y'all make it fancy. Y'all have the boards and you cut out your magazine stuff. The resources are there. They were probably there then, but I just knew that I had to get it out of here and onto the paper. And so I wrote it down best way I could. And everything, I've literally watched it manifest. And I'm still blown away. I'm still in awe of God, and I'm still amazed at what he's done. But listen to me. Even in the 5 years that I've been in business, I am still learning that there are some things to help me scale. As I've said, and you heard me clearly, business credit is of the present. I did not want to be in debt. I wanted to pay my, because when I started my company, I knew that I needed the assistance of ones to help me. If your vision is big, don't try to go at it alone. And so Carlette mentioned just a little bit earlier, pay your family members. My son was doing photography for me. Real estate photography. You heard my husband's an IT tech guru. Mm-hmm. So he would do most of the computer stuff in the office. My son, utilize what you have in your hand. But when you get to a place where you know that now I need the help and the resources that God has put on earth, he says use what you have in your hand, but maybe those resources are the people at the bank who can give you the business credit, SBA, using your Duns and Brad, those things. So I hope that answered your question, Chris.
Yes. Um, One of the things I had a conversation by someone who is in the banking business the other day, and we were just talking about just random. I want to really want to ask him to be my mentor as well. But I was talking to him, and he got to the point where of the conversation, he said, "Well, Chris, how much money would it take for you to be happy? What would make actually? I think it was more broader than that." And he said, "What would it take for you to be happy?" And I said,
Don't give the amount.
"No, I'm gonna give them." I said $5 million.
That's it.
And then that's exactly what he said. He said, "That's it." Oh no, Chris, you're thinking too small.
Yeah, that's small.
So he said, "Man, you need to think higher." He said, "You need to think 25 million." I was like, "Okay, 25 million." And so what he said after that was very eye-opening. He said, with these multiple streams of income, starting your own business, establishing business credit, you want to look at yourself as a $25 million person in training. So your end goal is to be wealthy and have that do everything you have to do in order to get to that 25 million, because you're a $25 million millionaire in training. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good, because oftentimes we try to flip our own money, and it doesn't happen like that, because we have to maintain being a healthy. And I heard you say earlier, Chris, that, or maybe it was Carlette, but you got to pay yourself. Half the time we'll get to a place where we're paying everybody else and we haven't paid ourselves. So that's the importance of getting business credit, is so you can flip their money, pay them back long term versus your own.
Now, y'all, I'm gonna click on some buttons. I'm trying to do something here. So,
okay. So while he's clicking, I have another question that came in. Tracy McKelvin, can you talk about adding trade lines to your Dun & Bradstreet, and why should we do it?
That is so good. That is so good. So there's multiple reasons. Oh, okay. I can see it. That's good. Okay. Thank you for doing that.
There we go.
Thank you so much for doing that. So to answer Tracy's question, so I am always going to utilize myself or my husband's business, but let's say, and I'm so glad she asked it, because I have it in my notes over here about even when you have to, you're responsible for someone else's money, right? I have a property management company. And so making sure that I separate those things. So when y'all start these accounts, make sure that you're not putting everything in one account. And we call it in real estate commingling funds. Do not commingle funds. If you have a property management company, you should have a property management account. If Chris and Carlette has the Chris and Carlette show, they should have a sponsorship account, is what I'm going to call theirs. If you have your operating account where you got to get supplies and different things like that, make sure you have an operating account. If you need to pay yourself, it doesn't have to be a personal account. It could be a business account, but make sure you have those accounts separated instead of commingling funds, transferring here, swiping your business card for your house toilet tissue, different things like that. So I hope that makes sense. But making sure that you add those different trade lines under your Dun & Bradstreet, so that you can have, building your business credit for different reasons, not just the example I just gave you, separating your business accounts. If Tracy McKelvin has a financial company and I was going to say a roofing company, but let's say that too, and her paint company, making sure that you ask your banker or whomever it is, how do you do those trade lines? I'm not going to sit on here and act like I can fund you that money and how to do it, but you separate those things. Stop putting everything in one, because when it comes down to you going to your CPA, now you can't separate and you don't know what you spent on what, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Let me just say something real quick. This just encouraged my soul. Mother Muriel Weston just sent us 50 stars.
Look at there.
So what is 50?
Snaps and claps.
I don't know. Wait. What does that mean we get?
Is it on your platform?
Yeah. On Chris and Carlette Live.
I don't know. It's probably just like an emoji, Carlette.
I don't know, but I'm grateful for 50 stars. Hallelujah.
Comments sent with 200 stars or more will appear. Something. I don't know.
Yay.
Thank you, Mother West.
I like 50 stars. All right. So
If you have more questions, please feel free to put them in the
comment.
chat, in the
Yes.
comment line. Please do that.
And also, if you know someone that needs to hear this, we will have we will have this, the replay. It will come back on Facebook and YouTube on under our page. Tag somebody who needs to hear. Maybe they can't be on now, but they can be on later. All right. So I have all this in place. I've come to the creditor. I want some business credit. They're asking me my why, what I'm going to do with it. I have all this in place. I got approved.
Look at there.
I got approved.
Woohoo!
Now what? Because I'm going to tell you what happened. I have an example.
Tell it.
I have a real example. When my husband, they were raising funds for the documentary, and he was in conversation with somebody about it. I don't tell my business, okay? I'm just flat out say it. And I'm listening to this conversation happen. And Chris was excited because the funding was coming in, and they got, I believe, a grant or whatever. So this person says to him, so what you going to do with all that money? And I was like, I braced myself. I was like, Lord, where is this going? And I'm like, do they realize this is not personal money? This is business money that you have to account for every dime. And so I said, what do you mean? I jumped in at this time. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, you get all that money. I mean, surely you gonna help your family. You go. I was like, are you kidding? This is not personal money. This ain't going up into the personal credit union bank account. And I said to him, oh, you want somebody to go to jail. I was like, are you serious? But it showed me that they didn't have a business acumen. And so I was just like, please talk about that, Pam. You got the money. Now what?
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, I did not work, going back to Tracy's question, I did not work hard to get 3 trade lines for the lenders to even take me serious with my Duns and Brad, for someone to come and ask me, hey, are you going to help your family out? It already took me to get 3 trade lines to get approved, because the lenders is not even looking at me serious until I've actually created or put those 3 trade lines in place. Now they're taking me serious, right? But now that I've gotten approved, okay, so I've written my budget. Let's go back to our budget. I've written my budget. So I know that my office space is $2,000 a month. I know that I have to pay payroll, which is about $100,000 a year. I know that I have to do all these things. So I'm going to now tell my money where to go. I'm going to get all the things to help me get set up, because now I can breathe. I can breathe knowing that this business credit is in place. I don't have to worry about if my payroll is going to be paid. I don't have to worry about if my office suite is going to be covered. I don't have to worry about all these things. I don't have to worry about, I was trying to think of something like an emergency that may happen. You have emergency funds there aside now to cover those unexpected expenses. But now I'm speaking from a person that's just starting their business. You've started your business. You were not like Pamela Bass. You did not want to self-fund. You got business credit from the jump, and you have everything in place. Your budget, you've gotten approved, and now let's put everything in place, but let's do it right. Okay. But speaking to a person who is 5 years in business, you wanted to self-fund. but you've scaled yourself as far as you can take yourself. I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at the right camera.
No, you're good.
You going back to you have, with God's help, have taken yourself as far as you can take yourself. Well, now either you get with your investors, you get that Duns and Bradstreet, 3 trade lines, so that the lenders can take you serious. And you're actually going to scale by utilizing the lender's money. Now, I know the Bible says that you are the lender and not the borrower, but temporarily until you, because sometimes we want to be on millionaire status before we get there. Slow down, bring it back, run it back. Use their credit to build your business until you get to that status. It's a popcorn society. We want to get there overnight. Slow down. Utilize, it's okay to get a business loan, business credit, whatever resources you can get until you can get to where you saw yourself. You've seen it before you can see it, but until you get to where you saw yourself, do not stop at what is y'all help me out with Monopoly. Don't pass, go, don't stop,
collect,
whatever.
Yeah. Don't
collect $200.
Don't collect $200.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the only way we're going to scale. And I'm so glad that you guys invited me on. Now, I don't know how free y'all are with y'all's channel, but I truly feel like there was a purpose for this call tonight because we had so many technical difficulties. Yeah. And Carlette's husband and my husband are tech gurus now. Right. So the enemy did not want us to have this call tonight. So I am so honored that you guys invited me on. I truly hope, and I'm not shutting down. I'm just telling you guys, I'm grateful that that I was able to come on tonight and share my story and share, the hurdles that I ran into with starting the business. And I'm not stopping. We're going to go until God says, okay.
Right.
Amen. Amen.
Right. And people say we're going to go till the wheels fall off. If they fall off, we're going to get a new set of wheels. Okay. So
keep going.
And keep going. Better yet, just get a whole new car. So, all right. Okay. That's good. So you got the money. You're going to follow your budget. You're not going to divert. You're not going to get your hands getting sweaty and stuff, getting nervous. Ooh, I got this money. Please know you have to pay these people back. What is the common grace period before you have to start paying that line of credit off? I mean, making your payments, giving it back.
I love Tracy McKelvin. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. That is going to depend on you, my friends. Do not go in that bank telling them that you can pay them back in 3 years because God told you that you was going to get where you had to go in 3 years. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because there may be hurdles and stumps. I love her. Our get out of jail free card was used to go from being sole proprietor to LLC. Chris, you are killing me with these comments. Okay, I'm back.
Somebody just put something in YouTube too.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love that. But no, going back to your question, that's going to depend on you. Sometimes they won't give you an option. They'll say, hey, we are expecting your maturity date is this. But oftentimes, depending on your file and what you provided and different things like that, you may be able to choose, hey, I only need 5 years to pay this off, or they'll give you different options, but choose the right option. Don't go in thinking, hey, I'm out here doing this thing and I think I can get it done in 3 to 4 or 5 years. Extend it. Utilize that business credit to make sure that you're all the way good before you say, hey, I'm going to pay you back in 3 years. Trying to make yourself look good, not knowing that in a year a pandemic is about to hit, or in a year you're going to be snowed in for a week and you didn't have any business, or in a year food costs are going to go up. So consider all those things before you try to prematurely say that, hey, I can pay back in 3 years. So, but ultimately, sometimes that's the choice is yours. You get to choose.
Okay.
So this is a question. I'm not sure who this viewer is.
Say your name, PLJ Teach. Put your name in the comments.
So he said, and I'm not sure if you're privy to any of this information. And if you can answer, do you have any insight into the new tax laws that began January 24, where business is penalized $500 per day for not reporting to something? I don't know, but we just want to put the comment up there just to make sure that we were
Absolutely. I am so glad this person asked this. So thank you for asking that.
Pinky Johnson. Let's go.
Okay. So you said Pete.
Her name is Pinky.
Oh, Pinky. Hey, Pinky. Mm-hmm. So the question did not finish, but I'm going to try to answer it best I can. It was just a dot on my side.
Yeah. And we see the same thing too.
So I'm going to answer it best I can based off of what I can see. Pinky, most of us start businesses and we don't report everything to the IRS. So let's start there. So let's say, let's talk about my real estate company, right? So I have W-2 employees, but I'm paying them as if they are 1099s, or I may have just reported them as 1099s that year. And most people, they don't want to pay the IRS. So they will not report what the income that was paid out. So just the IRS is one that you do not want to play with. Report. I will say this, and I do not have any insight on, and I'm up to date on the new tax laws that began January 20, where business is penalized $500 per day. I have not heard that, but just because I'm not exactly sure what you're reporting. Do y'all know what?
You know what, Pinky? I would say with that, go make a call to your downtown tax assessor's office or your business tax division in your local county to get clarity on that. I would highly suggest that.
Or CPA.
Or a CPA. Absolutely. I have heard what she's talking about, but I don't know the full story. I saw like a clip or something.
Yeah, and I'm not, the question wasn't too clear. So I'm not sure. She said that she's not sure what's reporting. Is she talking about what's reported within her business, or?
I wonder if it's reporting that you exist, because, if we already getting our notice for the year, we have to re-register with the Secretary of State. And then you're penalized. I don't know if she's coming from the perspective of reporting that you are a business, you're still in business, and that you're registered with your state. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, Pinky, if you could rephrase the question so that we can answer it more precisely, that will be great.
And I was going to say, Chris and Carlette, it may be the fact that there were so many people. If y'all remember in 2020, I think y'all can help me out, but people started businesses.
Yeah, get that PPP
and
loan.
They were getting, is it PPP loan? Yeah. And so the IRS had to put something in place. You had lawn care services and barbershops, and I mean, nothing against none of those people, and they may not have done it, but you had all these people starting these businesses and getting PPP loans for the purpose of the $20,000 or the $15,000, whatever they were getting. And now the IRS has said, it's time to stop. Now, you said that you registered your business. So let me see what your reporting is.
Right.
So if that's the case, then those people that started those businesses for that purpose, they need to state to the IRS, hey, I have closed my business. It's no longer an operating, status or whatever. That's what y'all need to do. Or that's not you, Pinky, but whomever you're asking that question for. If you've started a business falsely, then you need to report to the IRS that, hey, that business is no longer operating. So I hope that answers your question.
I'll say this. I attended a webinar during the latter part of the pandemic, and it was a bank that was doing it. And they talked about they was like, listen, you have to realize that the bank is have oversight. We are watched by the government. We work with the government. So all these PPP checks that you have to report to us. They're going to ask us what they do with the money.
That's absolutely
They'll
correct.
ask us for records, and you don't even know it.
That's it.
And then that's when they show up at your doorsteps. You get something filed against you, or you have to pay this money back, because some people have had to pay the money back.
Absolutely.
Because I saw a GoFundMe. A girl did a GoFundMe to pay the money back.
Yeah. It was crazy. I saw all that stuff going out, and she could be asking about the underreporting. I'm a witness, and I'm never afraid to say, hey, woe is me. And it wasn't that I did it purposefully, but I had some underreporting for my state, but she said the IRS. So I'm trying to make sure that I understood her question clearly.
Tracy McKelvin said it is the underpayment of estimated tax by corporation's penalty. Then she said it is when you don't pay enough estimated tax payment, or you pay them late and then they apply a penalty. Then she said the penalty is not $500 a day, but you are charged interest and penalties for taxes more than $500.
And Tracy is saying what I'm saying, the state, but she said the IRS.
Not sure. I don't think Pinky is really. I think she's still trying to form the question, because she just said, I think it might be called the Corporate Transparency Act.
Oh, okay. So, can you guys still hear me? I thought I pressed the mute button.
You're good.
Okay.
Now, Pam, listen, I don't want you to speak on something that's outside of your range, your profession.
My realm. Absolutely.
Your realm. It's okay to say, I don't want to speak on that. Or you can say, I'm not totally aware, so I don't want to lead you.
Oh, I'm not sure at all. I don't want to act like I'm no.
So let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go. Okay. You go.
So I know it's getting late and we're on top of the hour, 5 minutes past. I wanted to ask this question too. So once you build up your business credit, once you have your business established, I know that you all live in this area that is heavy on contracts. Mm-hmm. How do you leverage the government? And because now that I put the government out there, but how do you leverage? Yeah, I'm just gonna say government contracts such as the military and things of that nature with this new business credit, with your new business, then that is going well.
So with all things, you have to start with relationships. Mm-hmm. Let me say that. You can submit bids. You can do all those things all day long, but you will need to start with relationships. And I'm going to give you a good example, Chris. My husband worked, of course, for technology companies before launching 40 Communications. And so he worked on the arsenal, and he worked for contracting companies here locally. So those business relationships were formed. So now they can trust him. You starting a business, that does not earn anybody's trust. So I would say starting with the relationship first, and then of course, making sure that you set your company up so that you can submit bids for those government contracts and different things like that. But I always, no matter what it is, I start with relationship first. Making sure that if I'm networking in those environments where those people who actually have to accept bids and different things like that. So start with relationships and then make sure that you register yourself so you can actually submit for those bids for your company, no matter what it is, whether it's technology or contracting, whatever it is. Did I answer your question?
Yes. And I know the hour's late. Wanted to. Do you have any final last? So as Professor Diggs always say, that you took copious notes or something like that. But
yeah.
but
did she have anybody? Yeah. Like if there's anybody that's listening now, and you're like, okay, I need business credit. This is why I joined the call tonight. So is there any partnerships anybody you want to say, or again, can you put her card up again?
Yeah, and then I was going to say, if you have any last notes that you wanted to, talk about right quick, and anything left that was hot on the press, so I'll go ahead and put this up right quick.
Okay.
And you can talk while that's up.
And you're ready for me to talk?
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. There were something that you guys wanted me to touch on, but the last thing that I wanted to share, and I have here in my notes, is I feel like I need to touch on y'all's question first before I say what I'm about to say. So let's talk about business credit and all those things. Let's end it there. In order for you to scale, in order for you to truly scale, start with building those relationships. And I can name a few. First Horizon, I think, is in Georgia and all over, actually. So look up First Horizon Bank. If you want to get connected with someone here locally, I can connect you with them, and they can put you with the right person so that they can give you some tips and different things like that on a line of credit. But if you have not done the steps that we talked about earlier, getting your EIN number, registering with the state of Alabama, getting your Duns and Bradstreet number, and then making sure that you have those 3 trade lines in place so that anybody can even take you serious. But also, if you don't know any investors, sometimes bankers will even know investors to connect you with. I have a few. So if you need some, let me know. Email me or contact me. But and then it's not just First Horizon. There's multiple places. Also look at the SBA. My business coach actually is one of the coaches for the SBA. And it's under their new Thrive portion that they rolled out in 2020, I think. I can connect you with her as well, or there's multiple people. If you go look up on the SBA website, they'll take you through a course. And once you're done with that, then they will give you resources. They will give you funding. And then there's other places that you can get funding from as well that I'm actually going to prepare a list, Carlette and Chris, and I'm going to share it over with you guys so that maybe possibly you can share it with your audience. Because I have a list of like Ventureland and different places like that I know that offers business credit to individuals. It's typically minorities that they offer those to. So loans and different things like that. But the last thing I want to share is you have to be okay with sharing the process, no matter if you're 1 month in business or 5 years in business. Share the process. Stop hoarding information. That's the only way the next generation is going to learn, is if you share what you've been through, how you started, and different things like that. And then what else? You got to be okay with knowing that if God gave you the vision, he's going to protect you every time. So if you give them your recipe, just know that they don't have the same sauce. You're just helping build other businesses.
Say that one more time.
You can give them the recipe, but they don't have the sauce.
They don't have the sauce, baby. I'm about to use that one.
They can even steal the recipe.
They can steal it.
And show up there looking dumb. Okay, wait.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I got a story about that. Oh, come up there, looking raw. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, but God is gonna protect it. He's gonna protect it every time. If he gave you that vision, yes, yeah, you can give them step by step by step. Hey, Chloe.
Oh, how do you know she walked in?
I see it.
Oh, Jesus. Come here, girl. You want to be? I know you want to be on the camera.
She want to be on the camera anyway. So okay, yeah. Well, okay. That's cool. And you know what? That's true. I've seen it happen. Whether you shared it or they stole it, it's still not the same. The anointing it's on you. The gift is in your hands. They enjoy it so much they want to continue because then they know they can't be around you all the time. And like I said, if you share it or steal it, it's still your character, your personality, your gift. It's all in that. Mhm.
You have to be mindful of the anointing that I have. You don't have that anointing.
Right. And that's okay. And they should get their eyes off of you and like, God, what am I gifted in? Am I supposed
That's
to
it.
really get this or really
That's
go
it.
back into my lane, go back into my closet and find out
That's
what
it.
because I'm really distracted right now. People want to admit
That's it.
that. When they
That's
keep
it.
looking at people, no, you're distracted.
Yeah, yeah. And I love what you just said. And I don't know if you were able to catch our team call from this past Saturday, but that was the topic. Stay in your lane. And
Yeah.
what was so funny is my father-in-law shared the other evening at dinner. Actually, when you guys called me, he said, well, they can try to jump in your lane, but they better put the blinker on. But no, stay in your lane. If your lane is real estate, if your lane is tech, if your lane is whatever it is, don't veer over. Stay in your lane. Make sure that you are walking out the gifts that God has called you to do. And even if your gift was in real estate, Pamela can give you everything, but ask God, what is my community? What does that look like? Because mine may just be ministry or professionals or whomever, but there's enough room for all of us. So we don't have to hoard information is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see some boy, these comments are coming through. Let's see. What did she say? Not being a thief, you show not getting anything.
That's good, Pinky.
And then anointing. Oh, I couldn't see. I'm gonna have to move.
It's
this
the truth,
screen.
Pinky. I've experienced it. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, Pam, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the process. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for your love to share and want to build people up. To all you business owners, future business owners, watch the replay. It was a lot shared. You might not have had a chance to write it down. If you want to find it, to take a screenshot of her business card if you weren't able to get her contact, to reach out. She will supply us a vendor list that we can add to the Chris and Carlette live page as a takeaway at a further date. So just watch for that on the Chris and Carlette live page. For that, please go like and subscribe on our page on Facebook and YouTube. Do both because we're gonna put it on both. So I thank you so much, Pam. Any last words?
No, I want you guys to really, really, really restructure in 2024. And my thing this year has been, what have you picked up that you shouldn't have?
Ooh.
Release. Put it down. Or
Who?
what have you not picked up
Mm.
that you should have picked up a long time ago? Is it a book? Is it a business? What is it? Let's execute in excellence in 2024.
Yes. Amen. Well, thank you so much, Miss Pam.
Thank you, Mr. Marquis Bass.
Yes, Mr. Bass. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the near future. But we're going to call you after the show.
We're gonna call you right back.
That sounds good. Tell my sister Tracy bye. I just saw her comment.
Let me do this right quick.
Uh-oh.
It is so funny
Uh-oh.
when Pam and Carlette communicate. They communicate by voice.
She taught me.
So hopefully when we call, we won't get.
But me and Pam, we be like, we do whole conversation. She's the one got me into it. It took me right in the car with her after I joined with the brokerage. And so
I have a special guest.
Oh, okay. I was even like, girl, I'm not about.
There he is.
What's
up, Mr.
You know what? I see your daughter all on his face. Pam, credit.
No, ma'am.
It's that nose and those eyes.
Fortunately, thank you, Miss Carlette, because I really appreciate that. I have been trying to just find myself in any one of my children.
Oh, yeah.
And I really appreciate that because mom takes all from me.
How you think?
But I love them, and
None of mine look like me.
I just want to have a little bit.
I feel you.
Just a little bit.
It's just like soon as your face came in, it was like your daughter, right? I was like, oh.
No, ma'am. Goodbye. Goodbye. Hello. I'm back.
All right, Miss Pam, we'll call you after the show.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You.
That was a
wonderful.
great show,
That was good.
baby. That's one.
But you know what? This is what I got.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
What
and I'm
you
gonna
got?
put this out here.
Okay.
We need to. We need to do it quick. Trademarks. Whether it's if Pam wants to come back and do that, and we got to do one on tax fraud. I am so serious.
Maybe
we need
get
to
our
talk about
CPA
taxes
on.
and tax fraud. Maybe we can get talk to our personal with that, and then we need to talk about trademarks. And if Pam wants to come back and do that and do a part 2 to this, that's what I got from this. In addition to the wisdom that she shared, so
Yeah,
we got to talk further. I'm serious.
Guys, we are back in the saddle, looks like, with this software called Wirecast.
Hey,
so
Georgia from Australia. Hey, on YouTube.
Georgia, what's going on? We're international now.
Just that quick.
Hey, Georgia. Hey, I'm so glad that you could join us all the way from Australia. I'm not sure what time it is in Australia. It's probably
I think they're
morning.
Like,
Let's see
8
here.
to 10 hours
Hey,
ahead
Siri,
of us.
what time is it in Australia? It's 2:19 in Canberra, or whatever she just said. But thank you for joining us all the way from Australia. We really appreciate it. I wonder, is it the couple that we went on a cruise with? I'm not sure.
Not sure.
But yeah, so catch us next week at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, Pinky.
And we will have some more interesting topics to cover. Sometimes it may just be Carlette and I. Sometimes we might have a guest. But we want to make sure that you all like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can and hit the little bell. I guess it's a little bell somewhere on YouTube that will notify you when we go live. And we really appreciate all the comments and questions. And
Georgia is 16 hours ahead of us.
Yes, wow.
I knew it was a lot because when my brother went to Australia for a sports trip or learning abroad, something he did, when he came back home, he had to have the blackout curtains up because he was totally.
Baby, we got to end the show.
Listen, we love you. We appreciate you. See how
my wife loves to talk. All right, we will talk to you later.
I'll wait. Love and appreciate. Remember, pray.
Oh.
We got to pray, people. Call upon the name of the Lord. Seek him while he may be found and while he is near. Okay? The Lord I'm talking about, he is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, Jehovah, the great I am. His name is Jesus. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. I'm talking about Jesus. We make our callings and elections sure on this show. Whatever you believe, God bless you. But as for this, that's what we believe. As for me or my house, our house, we will serve the Lord. And so I say to you, call upon the name of the Lord. He wants to hear your voice. He wants to hear your cry. He is answering prayer, and he's near and closer than you think. We love and appreciate you. We will see you next Monday.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.